Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going on an adventure to a really special place called Lake Powell. Imagine a giant winding lake, like a blue dragon sleeping in the middle of reddish-orange canyons. It's super beautiful. But something really strange is happening there, and scientists are paying close attention. It's like a real-life science mystery, and we're going to solve it together. So, what is Lake Powell? Well, it's not a natural lake. A long time ago, people built a huge wall called the Glen Canyon Dam on the Colorado River. The water backed up behind the dam, filling up all these amazing canyons, and that's how Lake Powell was born. For many years, it was a super popular spot for boating, fishing, and just enjoying the incredible views. But here's the twist. Over the last 20 years or so, something called a megadrought has been happening in this part of the country. A drought is when there isn't enough rain or snow for a long time. And a megadrought? That means it's a really serious one that lasts for many years. Because of this, less water is flowing into the Colorado River, which means less water is filling up Lake Powell. Imagine you have a giant bathtub and you only turn the faucet on a little bit, but the drain is still open. The water level will start to go down, right? That's exactly what's happening at Lake Powell. The water levels have dropped so low, it's like the lake is shrinking. In fact, the water is now at the lowest it has ever been since it was first filled up. This is a big deal for a lot of reasons. First, the dam doesn't just hold back water, it also makes electricity, which is called hydropower. As the water level drops, the dam can't produce as much power. It's like trying to spin a pinwheel with a weak puff of air instead of a strong wind. If the water drops too low, it might stop making electricity altogether, and millions of people rely on that power. But the most surprising part of this story, the part that has scientists scratching their heads, is what's happening under the water. As the lake shrinks, it's not just getting smaller, it's completely changing. Think of it like this. The old Lake Powell was deep, cool, and a bit cloudy, kind of like a big, mysterious swimming pool. Now it's becoming shallower, warmer, and much clearer. This change is creating a whole new world for the fish and plants that live there. The old Lake Powell was a great home for fish like striped bass and walleye. They liked the cool, deep water. But now, with the water getting warmer, these fish are struggling. It's like they're wearing a winter coat in the middle of summer. They're just not comfortable. So who is moving in? A whole new crew of fish. Species like smallmouth bass and largemouth bass are loving the new conditions. They prefer warmer, clearer water, so for them, the new Lake Powell is like a perfect sunny playground. They are thriving, and their populations are booming. It's a complete flip-flop. The old kings of the lake are fading away and new ones are taking over. Scientists are shocked because they've never seen an ecosystem change this fast. Usually these kinds of shifts take hundreds or even thousands of years. But at Lake Powell, it's happening in just a decade or two. It's like watching a movie in fast forward. And it's not just the fish. The whole food web is being rewired. The food web is like a big dinner party where everyone is connected. Tiny little organisms called plankton are at the bottom. Little fish eat the plankton. Bigger fish eat the little fish, and so on. In the old, cloudier lake, the plankton had plenty of nutrients, which are like fish food floating in the water. But now, the river that feeds the lake is also low and it's not bringing as many nutrients. Plus, the clearer water means sunlight can reach deeper. This is causing different types of algae and plants to grow on the bottom of the lake. So the menu is changing. The new fish, like the smallmouth bass, are finding new things to eat. They hunt differently, they live in different spots, and they are completely changing the rules of the game in the lake. It's a brand new ecosystem being born right before our eyes. One of the most amazing things happening is that the old Glen Canyon is reappearing. As the water recedes, parts of the canyon that have been underwater for 50 years are seeing the sun again. Waterfalls that were drowned are flowing freely. Side canyons that were flooded are now explorable on foot. It's like a lost world is coming back to life. But with this rebirth comes new challenges. The river is starting to carve its way through all the mud and sediment that settled at the bottom of the lake over the decades. This sediment is full of nutrients, and as the river stirs it up, it can cause huge blooms of algae downstream. Sometimes these algae blooms can be harmful to other fish and wildlife. Scientists are using this as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It's like a giant, unplanned experiment. They are studying everything. How do the new fish interact? What new plants are growing? How is the river reshaping the land? They are trying to understand how quickly nature can adapt and change when its environment is turned upside down. This teaches us a really important lesson about balance. Ecosystems, whether in a lake, a forest, or a desert, are delicate. They are like a complicated tower of building blocks. If you pull out one or two key blocks, in this case the cold, deep water, the whole tower can wobble and rebuild itself into something completely different. The story of Lake Powell shows us how connected everything is. The amount of snow that falls in the mountains hundreds of miles away affects the water level, which affects the temperature of the lake, which affects which fish can live there, which affects the entire food web. It's a giant chain reaction, and it's a powerful reminder of how our climate is changing. The megadrought is a huge factor in this story. It's a wake-up call that shows how changes in our climate can have big, unexpected, and super fast consequences for the natural world. So, what happens next? No one knows for sure. Will the drought end and the lake fill back up? If it does, will the old ecosystem return? Or will the new one stick around? Or will the lake continue to shrink, becoming more like a river running through a canyon again? Scientists will be there, watching and learning. It's a story of loss, but it's also a story of resilience and surprising new life. It's a mystery, a science lesson, and an incredible adventure all rolled into one. And it's a story that's still being written right now, in the stunning canyons of the American West. What do you guys think about this? It's pretty wild, isn't it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think about the future of Lake Powell. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive today. If you enjoyed learning about this amazing natural mystery, don't forget to hit that like button, and be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next adventure. See you in the next video.